Good morning, everybody. So quick disclaimer, I do this every morning. TikTok, I'm not watching comments, so if you are joining and you want to watch, that's awesome. I appreciate it. If you can give me a follow if you like the content, I would also appreciate that. Um, but I cannot see your questions until after I'm done, which is going to be about 30 minutes. So we're going to cover the SPY like normal, most of the tech stocks. We'll talk about NVIDIA, the dollar, crypto, and then we'll jump into the ATA portion of it. So, but let's talk about the SPY yesterday. We did do some trades yesterday. I only took, I think it was one trade. I'm actually in training right now, so my days during the market hours are a little bit busy. So, let's talk about kind of how the market played out yesterday. So we had a market open right about here. So if y'all remember yesterday when we were talking, kind of towards the end, as well as when you were in the room, we had talked about the fact that my original anticipation actually was that we might push up a little bit and then have a pretty good pullback, but those who were in the room, you guys heard me change my tone on that because of the fact of how the core retail sales came out, right? So you can see spending actually slowed down, quite a bit, actually less than on the retail side. And then the core retail side actually came down, right, for the first time in some time. So to me, I was telling people in the room, I said, just be careful of the bullish push on that because, people are going to see that as a sign that spending's slowing down, right, which is what they need to keep bringing inflation down. So, as that played out, we kind of opened the market talking about that. Once we got this long call right here, I did not take it on the long. What I did is I waited until we got back until we got a retest of this SMA here. And once we got this is where I had taken my long. Now, it was kind of risky. I think it was either here or up here. I can't remember. It might have been on this retest, but it was in this area here. I don't recall. This is about 1040 or so. But my anticipation is the strength was coming through really strong here. We had the retest of the 21 SMA, and the likelihood, like I said, if we break this and we retest it, then we're gonna almost guaranteed go to the 453, right? I mean, there's no way around that. And not only did we retest it once, but we actually retested it twice. So I held it all the way through on this right here. I actually closed mine, I think, somewhere around this area because I had to get to training there. But wish I held it a little longer. I didn't take anything after that because you can see, I mean, we just continued to climb. If I had the time during the day, what I typically do. Is I'm gonna take these little peak bottoms here, right? And I'm just gonna hold it like that. And as long as we hit this support here and we hit it again and we hit it again, we're just kind of riding it up, right? Until you break that, you would normally just leave that open, right? And then it comes back through, right? And then somewhere in this area, you might have considered closing that, especially because we started getting some of the bearish sentiments from our indicators. So yeah, I mean, in a nutshell, yesterday it pumped up more than I had anticipated. So y'all remember yesterday I said that we would hit this line around 453, likely reject. My tone kind of changed a little bit because of the fact of the news, right? Now, I did mention in the room early on that this will be a decent rejection point. So I talked to a few people that were in puts about DCAing. So if you did double it up here, I mean, we did drop back down, about $1 from it. I don't know if it was enough to get you out, right? So I hope it was. Otherwise, you're gonna have to sit tight a little bit. But let's talk about where we went towards the end of the market. I mean, the pressure just continued. We broke it. We retested it. We retested it again. That's what causes that, right? Same thing. Same thing as we had down here. But notice now the little bit of a difference, right? Where the indicators are starting to flip a little bit potential bearish, right? We did get a long call, right, to catch this little pump here as well. And then in the pre-market, we're just kind of sitting right here, right? So this yellow line, I'll be honest with you, that one is the one that surprises me the most, that it broke as easily as it did, because let's zoom out to the daily and just take a look. And you can see, let's see where we put that yellow line. So we put it based off of this prior resistance, which was this really strong resistance, right? So if it cannot hold that line on market open, I would anticipate a pretty decent pullback from there. Now the caveat to that is if we hold that support. So we're currently in the pre-market above it, right? Just barely, but we're above it. If it can continue to hold the support and the market opens bullish, right? So right on market open, we see some buying going on. The next levels, I mean, you're looking at, this one probably I would mark, and then this would be my next one, obviously. Oop. Held down the option there. And so I'm gonna go ahead and let's clean up a few of these, because we are getting up there, right? So I'm gonna clean up a few of these lower ones. I'll keep this one. We'll kind of keep this as our range, right? So, but this is going to be the next stops, if we continue to push, which is going to be around 458, 461. Man, if we break this 461 with any kind of strength over the next, few weeks, the push north is going to be nuts. I mean, we'll probably go almost instantly to 470. Now, I do think if we by chance get here, which I don't know if we're going to get here right away without the support of news, that rejection is going to be massive, guys. Just be so careful, because look at this. We are just in a parabolic climb. I mean, there's no pullback. If you look on the daily, we've literally ridden this 21 SMA all the way up. I mean, about 50 bucks or so. And so, this is going to be the thing to watch, right? Even if you look at here, along the way, we've retested it many times. And if you look at here, we need to go down to like 441 just for a retest of that. So, I mean, we're getting pretty high in the range. We still have, I talked about yesterday, you have those lower highs. Now, the difference here is we had our bearish divergence here. It never played out. This one is a higher high than this one, but it's still not higher than here, right? So from a longer term stretch, right, we still have that bearish divergence on the daily popping out. So let's go to our 1 hour and take a look at that. So you can see on the 1 hour, we have our doji up here. We're starting to get our bearish candle. If we engulf it anywhere down around 453, and we reclaim this wick with a bearish body candle, or candle body, then that's going to give us our sentiment bearish that we need, right, to pull us back down. I would suspect, in a pullback down from here, I mean, we could get a early bounce somewhere in this range around 452. You could scalp a little call. This could be also, guys, just watch out for the setup, because you all in the room know that I love to draw patterns a little bit early, right? Because it's just how you learn to build your confidence, right? And so this could be, and it's super duper early to draw this. So it could either be something like this. It could be something like this, right? Where we come like this. I'll bring that just a little bit lower down. Bounce off of that one, hit another shoulder, hit this, right, retest. It could be something like that, right, that's setting up. Now, again, this is a super early drawing. So now what would cause that, if we do not continue to break this 454.18, if we can't stay above it, then I foresee something like this happening. Now, if we can stay above it, then what you're going to see is you're going to see something like this. You're going to see this, then you'll see here, you're going to see another higher high, probably slightly higher. You'll see a higher low, another little higher high, then you'll see a little retest, and then that's what would pump us up, right? And obviously it could be stretched out a little bit too. So, but this is where you're going to want to find the support, not only from the yellow line that we had here, but you had a little mini kind of white line of support right here, right? So until it breaks that, it's got no chance of pulling down there. So my stance is, y'all know, I would rather not trade today at all than to take a call, because I'm going to wait for that known support before I even attempt a call. Indicator wise, we do have on the 1 hour, they had the divergence back here, which it did play out. I mean, we pulled back, about $2 here from a smaller time frame. Not surprising because they found support on the 21 SMA. We do not have the red flip on the Divergence Hunter, but we do have the bearish gap fill, and we're almost 30%. In all of the backtesting that we did when building this indicator, when this thing gets about 30%, there's a pullback. There just is. It doesn't have to be huge, right? But there's definitely going to be a pullback to even these numbers out. Because this just means that the bulls are too overextended, right? The bears haven't even come to play. So once they come to play, you're going to see these right here. So, we have one confirmation here for the bearish. We don't have it on the divergence other than the fact that we are overbought. And we're overbought by quite a bit. I mean, we're up in the 80 range. And if you look here, 454.88, we've hit it once, we've hit it twice. So let's see how that goes, right, with the open. It's going to be a bumpy ride. So, even though we're moving in a nice parabolic move north, you can still take puts. You just have to be very patient on timing them. So, but that's kind of my plan for the SPY. If you zoom out, the whole when in doubt, zoom out, right? We're going to hit our ceiling at some point. It's just going to. And look for this SMA flip. As long as we stay above this SMA, we're moving north, right? Once it breaks this SMA, it's likely to come down here for this retest, which is as low as 438. I mean, that's going to be a pretty massive push. And I'm sure when that happens, there'll be some news event and somebody will be like, oh, it only did it because of the news, that's just how the game's played. So let's talk quickly on the tech stocks. I'm going to delete these. This here, y'all know. I mean, I explained that yesterday, how we gauge that. So let's just kind of clean up our lines. I'm gonna pull this down. Just give me a little more room. So this white line right here was what we talked about yesterday, or Monday. If it broke, we would get the steam, right? My concern is so yesterday around market open, it was somewhere in here, right? I was talking yesterday about because we had the rejection at the equal point over here, that we would, because we broke this 21 SMA, that there's a chance that we can come down to retest this line. It actually didn't quite make this line. It actually found support on the prior resistance here, right? And so that's what caused everybody to believe, oh, we're going up again, right? So, I mean, you think about it, if you take a call at 192 all the way to 194, I mean, that's a big trade, right? Especially a matter of 2 hours. So just tons of money made in those kind of moves. And then the best part is the people that push this, they know that it's going to likely reject again, and so they probably rode those puts back down. So again, Apple is a beast. Every time you say, oh, here's the resistance, right? Just ride those puts on the all-time high. It turns around and says, hold my beer, and does another all-time high. So just be very careful trading Apple. For me, if I'm taking a put on Apple, I need like extra confirmation. I want to see this thing red, right? The divergence. I want to see, this having a lot of resistance below the 21 SMA, so I can actually get a true pullback here. So because you can see it's fighting it right now on the 1 hour. If it stays above it, right, it's going up for another test. It's just going to. You can probably take something minor like this and just kind of line that up on the top there. I mean, it's pretty close to level, but anything up in here, right, if you see it come up in here, could be a pretty good resistance for you to take that put. So, but I would not be taking a call on Apple. I'm okay with missing it. If it continues to go up, I'll just write it down. Google. So we talked about Google yesterday. What we talked about is this is going to be heavy resistance level in here. And you can see, we had Friday the rejection. We had the rejection on Monday. And then I believe Monday market open, we were like right here somewhere. And so part of what I was talking about, my and or if you all remember, was if we open up bearish and we fail a retest, to take that put. So this would have been, that bearish push. If you caught the wave, awesome. You took a gamble. But the retest is almost certain to pull back like that. So you had the retest fail around 125, and it got all the way down to 123, which is a great put scalp. Kind of where we're at for today. We still have this kind of push down, but the thing I would be careful of is, we did have our push and we're kind of having this like falling channel, right? So if it happens to by chance break this 21 SMA, then we're gonna get another push up, right? Just from that. We are still on the 1 hour purple up here, which means that we're still continued bearish, and there's nothing green here. So there's nothing here telling me take a call yet. And if it doesn't flip to take the call until up here, by then you're already setting up for that put. So just be patient on it. I would not take a call on open. I would wait for that explosion to play. Anything outside this channel, like when it gets into these channel ranges right here, are typically setups, to begin start thinking about that reversal. So yeah, so you can see the call here, right? When it was outside the channel for the long, you can see the call here. It did get a little push up, but it ended up playing out in the end there. So that's kind of where I would go with old Google. Microsoft. Ooh, look at that candle. Congrats if anybody caught that. So this one doesn't really surprise me. Let's see where we were yesterday. I don't recall. I think this was similar to Apple. So we talked about this line, which I'm just gonna delete these. So we talked about that line. We had the double bottom. It came up, and we talked about this SMA, right? As long as it reclaims this SMA and holds above it, then we are gonna see a pretty good move. So just looking at this candle here, we had an explosion above it. I can almost tell why it stopped just by looking at it, because you can just take these peaks here. So you're gonna get a lot of resistance right up off this line. So what I'm gonna do is, if I'm trading this sucker here, I'm gonna put a line like that, and I'm gonna put a line like this. So we have our resistance points right here, right, which is now possibly gonna act as support. And then we have our upper line here, which is derived of these two peaks here. So this now boxed us in to give us a little bit of a range, right, to see where we might stop at. So if you look at the basic of this, right, I don't really trade Microsoft all that much, but you can almost just take a line like this, and you can take a line like that, right? And you can kind of see with that push up, we had our oscillations, right? Found support at the same level here. And I mean, this candle right here is just an explosion. So I'm anticipating there's probably some news or something that I just don't know about for Microsoft. I don't really trade Microsoft a lot, but I would not take a call right now, because if you did not catch that big peak, you missed the train. So wait for that pullback. Amazon. So these were the lines that we drew before. Let's extend this one out a little bit. And you can see it is finding actually resistance still on this line here. This was an upper line that we had, which was from the 2 peaks or 3 peaks back here. So for Amazon, I would probably say, your end or if here would be if we stay above the 21 SMA and we break above this yellow line and hold support, right, then you can ride that call up to about 137. If we cannot break this line and we fall below this 21 SMA, you could likely ride a put from 133 down to 131 on there. So for the retest of the 200 EMA. So RSI is like dead smack in the middle, so not much telling you there. The bulls are a little bit overextended, but not too bad, right? So we still could have some room up. You could see something like this, come up like this, another push up for a retest like this, and then just ride that put back down. And Tesla, good old Tesla. So y'all remember I've been talking about Tesla. Tesla I've been kind of putting in that box of where Apple was, right? To me, if you're gonna take a call, you want to take it on the bottom of these support lines like this. You don't want to take the calls when it's up here, right? And now we've actually broken above it. So it's just when you zoom out, right, we'll go to the daily. I want you to just kind of, when in doubt, zoom out, right? That's what we always say. So I'm going to take a line about right there. And that's going to be our kind of upper resistance. So that's around 313. So there's definitely room it can go up, right? Because if you look at where we're at here, we're kind of in the middle. The only thing I would say that might be holding it up right here would be this prior support level, which doesn't really have anything else with it. So I might mark it. Let's just see if it can break that. So if I go back down to the 1 hour, let's build some end ORFs, right? So I would say if you want to take a call, you're a super bull of Tesla, right? I would wait till it broke this level, let it run up a little bit, probably to 298 or so. Then I would want the retest of support, probably by the time this 21 SMA gets up here, so somewhere like that. So if I'm looking to go bullish on Tesla, what I want to see is a push like this, a comeback, a pull, kind of pullback retest. Then I want to see a higher high, and then I want to see another higher low with a bullish engulfing candle. This is where I'm taking my call, because this is going to push you up to this one, right, over time. Now, the end ORF for the bearish is if we get a rejection off here, enough to break this 21 SMA, because remember, we're about to squeeze it, right, with the resistance line. So if that squeeze breaks and we actually do collapse down below this line here, then you're clear to take that put, probably to at least 280 or so. I mean, look at this gap, is just ridiculous, from 295 all the way to 280. And if you think it can't go there, right? I mean, look here, 283, it got all the way back down to 265. So I mean, it's just an awesome put setup. You can see we are back in the overbought territory. So you could wait for some guidance too, to make sure that this flips red, or you can just kind of play the end ORF scenario. So, but we do have some gap fills that we have to do back here. We're definitely a little bit over on the bullish than bearish. So, but not so much that it's calling the gap fill yet. So, for me on Tesla, I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of taking the calls, when things look like this, right, without any kind of pullback whatsoever. So if I miss it, I'm okay with it. I'll just wait till it gets up here and I'll ride the train back down, right? Kind of play that safer. Meta, I'm not going to do Meta too long here because I'm running out of time. I think I spent too much time on Tesla and the SPY. Meta, we talked about this, I think it was Monday or yesterday, that this could become very double top-ish. I would be very careful of that, because if you go to a higher time frame, like a 4 hour, you can see it's just almost like a perfectly clean M. So you're looking at a neckline around 304, which is, it's a little ways away, right? But if you want to build this kind of double top, what I would suggest is you could take like a peak here and then just pull it right across the top, because you can see it rejected there and it rejected here. So if it does not break this line, this double top's in play, right? Because it doesn't play out. I mean, it's not always a straight line, right? You could have it like this too. So this is a good line to play. If it does break this with some steam and it holds some support higher, then the double top's invalidated. So, but that's kind of what I would look at for Meta. So I don't want to spend too much time on Meta. NVIDIA, somebody asked me about NVIDIA yesterday. I have not charted NVIDIA all that much. So for NVIDIA, I would probably, starting my day today, actually, so if you look here, I think I drew this one yesterday, actually. Yeah. And so, oh yeah, this was the call I did for the person that did NVIDIA. Hopefully you caught that. So what we had talked about, we drew this line yesterday. We said that we had a rejection here. So we're likely to open with some kind of a bearish pullback, right? Which we did. It just pulled back absolutely just crazy. I mean, it was almost like $10 on market open. It was nuts. And then you can see it found support, right? Which doesn't surprise me that it found support here. So, I mean, you can take, just basic, your basic lines like here, right, and pull it up, and you can kind of, it goes within the wicks, right? But if you had it right there as your boxing, but because of these two wicks, you got a higher wick right here, right? Then you lost volume on the bears, and that's when the bulls kick back in, right? Now, it's simple to see right here. You had a pretty good put opportunity from the prior peak. It rejected. So it's definitely losing some steam. I would still not, I would not talk or consider taking that call necessarily on NVIDIA. I did looks like I did have this white line here. So around 480 or so looks like a peak. So if you get up to about 480, we are overbought. You know, it's going to set up a really good put. As far as taking a call, just be careful with it. You look on the 2 minute, right? We have this pullback, and you can draw something like this right there, and then you can take the same thing right here, right? And then you have almost kind of like a wedge channel kind of forming here. So after a fall, so if it breaks this line, right, it's going to come down for a retest here. So that would be your opening put play if you wanted to do that. I'm gonna skip Netflix. If you want it, let me know. Let's just talk briefly about the dollar. Dollar is doing exactly what we talked about. Found support at our yellow line here, came up, retested it. My anticipation is that over time, if we can break this neckline, that we will come up to retest this here, right, which is what'll pull things back. I don't foresee, unless we can break this 200 EMA on the 1 hour, I don't necessarily foresee any kind of drastic pushes of the dollar, unless news comes out to support that, right? But if you look at this, we did find support. We did reclaim this side here. It's going to be tough to reclaim this, but if it can reclaim this, pop this, right, then you're going to get a reclaim of this side here, so which will push us up pretty heavily north. So Bitcoin, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on crypto. I mean, it's almost kind of boring and pretty predictable right now. Like we talked about, 29.9, 29.8, it's just holding really solid. We actually got down to 29.5. I'll mute the harmonic tracker so y'all can see, but I mean, these are just gimme plays right here. So you can see we literally wicked to the exact same spot that we wicked here, and we found support, right? So at the end of the day, we're trying to flip this SMA. If we can't flip it, right, we're going to continue to bleed. This is looking kind of inverse, head and shoulder or potential triple, bottom. And we did have a lower low here, right? So call it what you want. But as far as taking longs on this, I would not take anything until we begin to flip this POC in the 200 EMA, which is around 30,279. If you flip that right with some strength, you could ride that sucker all the way back up to 31 probably. Probably more likely if we're going to get a pullback over the next few hours down to at least 29.7. If it can't hold that and it starts to lose, right, you start to see that pressure, and watch the candles, right, you'll see the pressure. That's when you'll see that collapse. So all right, so let's talk about the ATA. Yesterday, so we had a couple of bumps yesterday. We had to actually pause the copy trade. So basically what we're finding is when people try to make two accounts onto one Botjock account, so two Tasty Trade accounts, by using cash and margin onto the Botjock, it's giving us some kind of funky errors. So we're working through that with Tasty Trade. The people who have the singular accounts, those ones are running fine. They were temporarily taken down yesterday while we were running through some different codes and stuff, but we got those back up. So let's talk about yesterday. So yesterday, this was the call that did play out, right? We did have 3 calls that played out perfectly. We did have it pause through, I believe, both of these two here, but the code still caught it, so it was cool to see that potential. So the put, so we did take a put. It's funny, yesterday or the day before, we did the same thing, right? Put DCA, and then we came out and got out some pretty good profit. So we have the same situation, right? We got a put, we got a DCA. I mean, news came out bullish, right? I mean, it's tough to get out of those. So, but we have some time. We got till Friday, and we are looking very double topish here. So, if the market opens and we get some kind of pullback, we're not too far away from this one getting out profit. What I'm gonna do though is because we do have some room that we need to come down, I'm gonna do the same thing that we did last time, and I'm gonna go to invite only scripts. We're gonna go to, I have way too many on here. Copy trader for options. There we go. And I'm gonna activate another put because it's gonna activate a different strike price, so it'll allow us to actually do another one. So let me just give this a second. I keep my trading view open, so sometimes I forget to reboot it so it doesn't go too quickly on the first one. So today we'd have to do 2-day contracts. So we're going to do 2-day contracts on the SPY. I'm going to probably do I think I'm going to go with range filter on this one. We're not going to take anything right at the entry, and I'm going to stop this one a little bit sooner, like 2 o'clock or so. And then we're going to do the strike price. We'll put it at 4%. And then we'll still have that DCA possibility. And then I'm going to uncheck that. Stop loss, we'll use the contract time for now. So this is what I'm going to do. So what this does, for those wondering, this basically allows us to take additional puts while we're waiting for that other put to get out. And it helps mitigate some of the loss, right, just in case. So 7.19 at 8:30. Actually, I'm gonna do 9:30 because it doesn't matter. It won't close until 9:30 anyways. All right, so that will activate that, and I will keep an eye. I will keep an eye on that one too. So we should be good there. All right, so you're gonna see the double play, but that's okay. Once it closes the candle, it will look for a new entry on that. So we will. So just if you want to pause to read, we did have this put here. So we did have this put that was still in there, right? That's why it still shows the 4 that was running. This is the settings. You can pause to read if you're trying to follow along on your trading view. The call I'm going to be setting up here. So call, SPY, taste trade, Parabolic 4, or Parabolic SARS. We're going to do the 2-day because you have 0 day for, if you ever wonder about the days, 0 day for Wednesday, then you have 1 day for Thursday, 2 days for Friday, right? So unless we're going to push it over the weekend, we want to try to keep it to 2. And I'm okay with the 2-day contract. But we're still going to do the Parabolic SARS on this one. 9:45, and then I'm gonna cut this one off also a little bit sooner today. We'll say 2 o'clock. Strike price is fine. We could probably go a little bit lower. 0.4. Because we have less contracts, you could do that a little closer if you want to. And then just reset this to today's date, 9:30. I just reset it every day. It's easier. There we go. So now that we have all this built, I'm gonna just delete. That put I deleted out. It's okay. I'll remake it. So let's start off with the call. So we're gonna create the alert for the call, and we're gonna do this ATA. What did I say? Copy call. And that one's on SARS because being so high in the range, I'm not even. I may pause this one throughout the day if I don't like it, depending. But because I'm not really a fan of the range that we're in, but we still should be okay. And then we're gonna create the second one, which is the ATA copy put. And then we'll create this third one, and I'm gonna call this one ATA copy put, and then we'll call it 2. Now, let me just walk you through how this will play out, because I obviously won't have this recorded if it does. If I will be taking, so the strike price, if you look at this one right here, right, is actually is 449, and so that is going to be somewhere down here, right? You can see the white line right here. So if it were to take a put, the strike price is likely going to be somewhere around here, something like that. And so as long as that strike price is above this one, we can continue to ride that. So now let's say we open up the market and we begin to climb down, and it takes 1, 2, 3 trades. Anywhere in here, I have to pause it because we do not want it to throw the same strike price as this one, right? Because that's just going to add to that order, and it's just going to end up like another DCA basically. So but that is what I'm going to run today. So we have our copy trade put 2, put 1, and our call. So let's see how that runs out. So I will be opening up the room about 9. I'm only going to be able to hang out in the room till about 10. So again, I have training all week this week. Yesterday I hung out till about 10:30 and I was a little bit late, so I got to hang out only till about 10 today, maybe 10:10. But I will open up that room here probably in about 30 minutes. So appreciate you guys' time, and I will check on TikTok comments here shortly.